Good morning, rabbit lovers. Welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. In this video, I'm going to take you along as I let our two French Angora does live together in one big cage. Before this morning, we had 3 separate cages, but just now I took these two, so each cage was like 2 holes, and then this one was 2, and then this one was 2, it was kind of over here. But this morning, I took this one, scooted it over to here, and cut some wire and attached it. So now we have one cage that has 4 doors. That's one big cage. It's connected, except for this place over here. And by the end of this video, we're gonna have these 4 holes all connected, so it'll be one huge cage. I have 1 adult French Angora buck, 1 adult French Angora doe right here, and then 1 in a carrier behind me temporarily because I had to move her cage so she couldn't be in there while I was doing that. And then we have our kits in this hutch. They're weaned, and we have the cage space to let our 2 adult does live together. We have housed Angoras together in the past. A few years ago we had Solace, Lovey, and Charity all in a huge cage. And then more recently we had Charity and Sequoia sharing a cage. And now I hope to have Sequoia and Junipur sharing this cage. So Sequoia has shared a cage before, and her and Charity, they were like best friends. They didn't ever fight. They had litters in the same cage, and they'd groom each other all the time and snuggle, and it was so sweet. And then when I had to get rid of Charity, Sequoia was left all by herself again, and I felt kind of sorry for her, but we just didn't have the cage space. But now we do have the cage space because I sold a rabbit yesterday, and so his cage is now open, so we can have both girls together. Most likely everything's gonna go just fine. Both previous times I've housed rabbits in the same cage together, it's been fine. But, you know, there's always a chance it won't go good, but it probably will be just great. So the first part of today's project is already done, moving the cage and getting it all set up to be all connected. This next step is going to be important for the bonding and fighting and dominant does being in each other's spaces type thing. I am doing a few things to help the fighting to be less and the niceness and bonding and normalness with each other to be more. I shuffled around where their food and water is. I washed their tiles, so the territory they're used to inhabiting has been, not only has it been smushed together, so it's a much bigger, different territory, their food and water are in kind of different places, so it's less likely they will recognize it as their territory and want to protect it. And another really important thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray vinegar over everything, and not only will that, you know, be a good cleaning, sanitizing thing, but it will be cleaning and it'll smell strong for the territorial scents to be wiped away or masked, so that the new does, you know, Sequoia won't smell, oh, this used to be my spot, it smells like me, so I'm gonna protect it, or this spot used to be my spot and it smells like me, so I'm gonna protect this side. And so if another rabbit's in her area, she'll fight it. We'll just have everything smelling like vinegar instead of smelling like a rabbit. And then once I do that, I'm going to bring Sequoia out of her carrier, and then this wall is still divided to keep her contained so she didn't escape as I was doing weird things with these cages. So we're gonna let both of them out and just let them be in the same space together. Maybe I'll pick them some greens so they can share a meal. I'm gonna give them their pellets. They already have water in there. So we'll just see how this goes. Probably it'll be just fine. So whenever I'm introducing new rabbits to each other, either in cages or colonies, I do expect there to be some fighting so they can decide who is the dominant rabbit. Pulling fur is normal. Major wounds or lots of blood is not normal. Sometimes there are rabbits who will squeal when nothing's wrong. So while squealing can be a sign of pain or injury, sometimes it's not, and they're just being drama queens. So far everything seems to be going okay. All normal behaviors. It's kind of nice how they have half the cage open, you know, so they can run through, but half of them is still walls blocking it off so that they can kind of hide better if they want to hide. So I still have to open up that 4th wall. Nothing really bad seems to be happening, so I might go ahead and do that. I'll be able to keep an eye on them while I'm doing that. I won't leave them alone for a while until everything calms down, just in case something bad does happen. They stopped fighting, that's a good sign. Being hot and tired probably helps too. Takes a lot of energy to chase people, huh, babies? Oh. Oh. Okay, yeah, that's so good. Oh no, I think, hard to tell, but I think I see a little bit of blood on her foot, like she broke a nail or something. Poor baby. I can see how running on all this wire would break a nail. I'm sorry. But if that is the worst injury we have with this whole ordeal, then I'll be pretty pleased. Well, so far, bonding our two does is going very smoothly. Everything is going as I expected. Now I should probably get them some pellets and then continue on with the rest of the Angora chores and then clean up all this stuff above their cages too, because it's pretty messy. Junipur just ran over to Sequoia and none of them are running away. She's sniffing her. Oh, you're gonna try to hump her? Dominance humping? Okay, yeah, that's normal. Yeah, dominance humping is okay, Sequoia, don't worry. Poor Sequoia. With both times she's been with other rabbits, it seems like she's the lowest on the pecking order. Charity was dominant over her even though she was smaller. And it seems like Juniper's doing all the chasing and fighting and trying to be dominant, so poor Sequoia, but it's alright. Once they figure out the pecking order and Sequoia accepts that Juniper's in charge and all that, then in a few days or a few weeks they're going to be best buds. So I'm not too worried about a little bit of stress and hassle now. But the good thing is that Sequoia isn't trying to be dominant. She's kind of seemed to accept that she's going to be lower. Sometimes if there are two more dominant does, they'll keep fighting over who's dominant. But it seems like in this scenario, Juniper is just showing her dominance over Sequoia, and Sequoia is taking it and accepting that she's going to be lower instead of challenging her and fighting. Some does, you know, if Juniper's over here, she'd all of a sudden jump up to attack her, but so far it's just been Juniper doing the dominance. So I guess we lucked out on our rabbit personalities. It's evening now. Throughout the day there have been minor scuffles, and then sometimes they're just laying separate from each other, resting, and then sometimes, like just now, they are right next to each other in perfect harmony. So nothing much has changed since you saw them last, and there haven't been any major wounds sustained. There is a little bit of loose fur over the cage area, but that's to be expected, especially because these are Angora rabbits and their fiber comes out very easily. Now they're just tired from running around all day, and it's kind of hot too, so I can understand why they're both wanting to rest. But I feel very comfortable leaving them together for the night. Nothing bad's happened. If anything, we've made some progress from when we first put them in. If everything continues to go this way, these rabbits will be best buds in the next few days or weeks. And then you were just watching them, being their neighbor, huh? He was getting kind of riled up earlier as they were doing their chasing. It is the next morning, and everything is going good. I got them some greens last night. They still have food and water. There's a tiny bit more fur scattered around, but no wounds, and they've both been calm. I've seen them this morning. They were together in the same area without having major fights, and right now they're choosing to be separate from each other, which is fine. You know, everyone needs personal space once in a while. So as of right now, everything is going even better than I expected, and it's going good, so I'll check back with you guys later. It's around lunchtime now, and they're both still doing really good. It's the next morning, and everything is going good still. They were just sharing a food bowl a few minutes ago. Good girls! It's the next morning, and both does are still doing really good. I haven't seen any fighting since that first day. They're not snuggling together yet or grooming each other, but they're not fighting either. So for now, just the middle ground of being separate but nice to each other is fine by me. So yeah, they're both doing great. You guys, I just saw them grooming each other. Like a few minutes ago. I had to run and get the camera and they stopped. But they were grooming each other. That's such a good sign. It's been several days since we let the does live together. There was a little bit of fighting the first day or two, then all of it calmed down, and they've been eating food out of the same bowl and being in the same area together without problems. And then this morning I saw them grooming each other, so I'm going to deem this bonding a success and end the video here. Thanks for watching.